I'm Steve. This is Classified Captures. Now, why don't we get into the episode? What would you do if you were alone in the woods and something started watching you from the dark? This woman went camping by herself deep in the Ohio woods. Her car was far from where she set up for the night, so she had to walk a long stretch of forest path before settling down. Everything felt calm. Her camera was on, the breeze was gentle, and she was just enjoying the quiet. Then she heard it, movement behind her, slow and deliberate. She stood up, grabbed a torch and the camera and began scanning the trees. At first there was nothing, just darkness. But then the beam of her light caught something. If you look closely, you can see it, a pale, human-shaped figure crawling on all fours. A wave of uneasiness hit her, and soon she began hearing a strange scream-like sound coming from deeper in the woods. She didn't wait to find out what it was. She packed up and started heading back toward a car. But whatever that thing was did not want her to leave. She kept hearing noises in the trees around her, like it was following from a distance, and a camera caught it. That same pale figure appeared again as she made her way back to a car. Some people think it could be a rake or an entity trying to lure her in. What do you think?
I've started the camera up like 18 times and done an intro. I just don't know. Nothing's really happening. I'm scared. I'm not scared. I'm nervous, but
Ask yourself this. What if NASA's biggest reveal was not the real story at all? While everyone was busy dissecting the images NASA released of the supposed three-eye atlas, something far stranger slipped past the public eye. A woman watching the International Space Station live feed noticed lights appearing in the darkness of space. At first, it seemed ordinary, just distant glimmers you would expect in the background. Then a cluster of bright lights appeared, and this one was different. It looked almost beautiful, glowing in a deliberate pattern that stood out against the empty void. The formation didn't look random, it looked intentional. Some believe it could be a portal forming in the distance. Others think it was something we were never meant to witness, something that made it onto the live feed before anyone got time to cut the transmission. But the real question is, well, what do you think we're actually looking at here?
Look at that. Where's that come from? Look, where's she come out? Like a portal. Look at that. Now, what is that? Please tell me what it is. Someone please, because I've had enough of now.
Imagine looking into a window and seeing your own face staring back, but then the reflection isn't doing what you're doing. There's a woman who has been sharing some unsettling moments involving her reflection. She believes she's being haunted by a doppelganger spirit or a mimic. In one clip, she found a reflection behind her on a glass window, and when you look closely, it genuinely looks like something standing right behind her. It even resembles her, but not in a way that feels normal. The second image appears to have bangs even though she does not, and it does not copy her movements at all. If you do not know, mimics are said to be entities that take on a person's appearance but never perfectly. They always get something wrong. Maybe the hair looks different, maybe the posture is off, maybe the face has a detail that does not belong. And unlike real reflections, mimics are believed to move on their own or appear in places where your reflection should not be. Some people watching her video think it's nothing more than double exposure or a normal reflection, but others believe she might have captured something that looks like her, but is not her at all. Anyone have any idea what might be going on here?
Back, the last time I made this video, people were saying that it's my double reflection, but I'm just gonna put up my hand here. So you can see this is me, and that's a glass, and you can see that there's a shape that looks like a person, but there's definitely there's no way there could be someone standing there. It kind of looks like me. It kind of looks like me.
A Brazilian resident recently shared camera footage that has stirred up a lot of conversation, especially among people familiar with local folklore. In the clip, you can see what looks like a spinning ball of fire hovering just above the ground. It moves almost like it's alive. Then without warning, it dissolves and disappears right into the soil. This caused so much attention because Brazil has a famous legend about a being called the Boitada. In the stories, it's described as a fiery serpent or a glowing guardian spirit that protects the forests. People say it appears as a moving flame watching over the land and chasing away anyone who tries to harm it. So whenever strange fire-like lights appear near fields of forests, the Boitada is usually the first thing people think of. Now, we can't say for sure if the footage is real. It could be edited or just a clever effect, but the way it matches the traditional descriptions of the Boitada has many people convinced this might actually be a sighting of the entity itself. Moving on, there's a strange video making rounds online of a man who was sitting in his car when he noticed something unusual in the sky. It was late at night when he spotted it, and as he kept his camera pointed upward, 3 glowing orbs arranged in a pyramid shape came into view, slowly rotating in the darkness. He even gets out of his car to get a clearer look, and you can hear the confusion in his voice as he zooms in trying to make sense of what he's seeing. Then everything shifts. He begins cursing. The camera starts shaking and the screen suddenly cuts to black, but the audio keeps going. You can hear him shouting that the object seems to be getting closer. That's the moment viewers began speculating that he might have caught an alien craft on camera. Some even believe he was abducted when the object approached, which they say explains the sudden blackout while he's panicking. But that raises a serious question. If he was taken along with his phone, how did the footage end up online? That mystery alone has thrown the entire situation into doubt. We still do not know who this man is, and there's no confirmation on whether this was a real encounter or a staged moment or something far stranger than either option. If anyone out there recognizes this clip or knows the truth behind it, please speak up. A lot of people are trying to piece this together and every clue counts.
This thing is in the sky just sitting there turning. That's a pyramid. Listen, y'all can't see it like I can see it. It look like a pyramid. For real. Let me zoom in. Let me see what it is. Yo, that's an object. That's something, yo. No BS. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That shit ripped. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Another strange video was surfaced out of Denver, Colorado, and it fits the same unsettling pattern we've been seeing recently. Odd, unexplained sounds coming from the sewers. This time the recording came from someone walking down the street who stopped when they heard something unusual rising from the sewer opening by the roadside. As they got closer, you can clearly hear the sound of chickens clucking from underground. Already strange, but the recording does not stop there. A deep growling sound echoes through the tunnel system next, followed by something that sounds almost like a howl coming from far below. It's hard to imagine anything normal that would explain a mix of animals in the sewer systems beneath Denver. What exactly are we listening to here, and where are these sounds coming from? Are these animals that somehow found their way underground? On second thought, I'm not sure animals could be this loud, even if amplified by tunnels underground, right? Perhaps I'm just overthinking it and missing something. I decided to go through the comments of the original post and found this. Can anyone confirm if this is true or not? This footage goes all the way back to 2010. 3 friends were out boating under a bridge at night, just messing around and enjoying themselves. At one point, one of them jumps into the water for a quick swim while the other 2 stay in the boat. Everything seems normal until he starts racing back toward them, shouting in pure panic and asking if they saw it. His friends have no idea what he's talking about. They keep questioning him until he climbs back into the boat. Only then do they see it for themselves. In the shadows at the corner of the bridge, a pair of red glowing eyes stares back at them. There's also a dark shape around those eyes, something that does not look human at all. They barely have time to process what they're looking at before the thing suddenly moves, and then it leaps straight into the water. That's when the real fear kicks in. You can hear it in their voices as they try to start the engine and get away, but the footage makes it look like the creature actually dives in and swims after them. There is chaos, screaming, the sound of splashing water, and then the video cuts out. We know they survived because the footage was uploaded, but that only leaves the biggest question behind. What exactly was that creature? Many people point to the Mothman because one of the most consistent features in those sightings is the red glowing eyes, and the dark shape under the bridge, along with the way it moved, fits part of the description. But nothing about the clip gives us a firm answer. What do you think they encountered out there in the dark?
Swim! Oh my God, did you see it? No. No, we've not seen it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, what is... There it is. That's it.
Dude, why does it keep chasing us?
I don't know. Oh my goodness. That is...
Dude,
oh my
I think it's about
gosh.
to jump in the water. Are you serious?
Oh my gosh!
Go!
What the heck? It's chasing the boat, Tom! Oh my goodness. Go! Go!
We now have a video coming out of Washington recorded by someone standing near the ocean side. At first, the footage shows nothing more than the waves rolling in, but then something unusual catches the person's attention. Just beyond the shoreline, a fin-like shape rises from the water. It moves in a way that does not look like a dolphin or a seal. It dips in and out of the waves with a slow, deliberate motion that feels almost intentional. Because of the way the fin curves and how smoothly it moves, a lot of people online jumped to the same idea. Well, this could be a mermaid. Mermaids have always been part of ocean lore, only appearing near the surface when they want to. Some believe sightings like this could happen when beings swim too close to the shore or become curious about people watching on land. Others insist it's just a large fish or maybe edited footage, but the shape and movement don't line up perfectly with those explanations, which is why the argument has been so intense. The real question is simple, but impossible to ignore. Did the camera capture an ordinary animal, or did someone film something the ocean usually keeps hidden? Two people were sitting at a desk when something truly strange happened. The man had a vape with him, and the woman asked if she could use it. He stood up to look for it, checking around as anyone normally would, but then without warning, the vape suddenly drops onto the table right in front of them. There's no sign of it falling from his pocket, no hand movement, nothing above the frame. It simply appears and hits the surface with a clear sound. Watch the movement carefully. When you replay it, the space above the table is completely empty up until the exact second the vape lands. It genuinely looks as if it forms out of thin air, which is why the clip feels so unsettling to people who have seen it. What do you think happened here? Are we looking at a glitch in the Matrix, or is there another explanation hiding behind this strange movement?
Where was it at? Yeah, it wasn't there. Where did it fall from? Right?
We've all heard about kids and their imaginary friends. Usually, it's harmless, but this story might send chills down your spine. A man named Ahmed had an experience like this when his little sister walked up to him holding a drawing. In it, you can see their mother, their father, Ahmed, his sister, and something else. A strange creature she'd labeled Steve. It wasn't me. I promise. I'm not imaginary. Take a closer look at this. Steve. This is not the kind of figure you'd expect a child to invent as a friendly companion. The sharp grin, the unusual shape, and the way she drew him made it unsettling, yet she insisted he was real in the world. Later, she handed him another drawing. This one introduced a new figure named Margaret. According to his sister, Margaret likes Ahmed, but Steve does not. She created a small cast of imaginary beings, each with their own feelings toward her brother, and it made the situation even creepier. Kids are imaginative, and sometimes their creativity takes strange turns, but when drawings look like this, it makes you wonder if something else is influencing them or if their imagination has ventured into darker territory. How would you feel if your sister had an imaginary friend like Steve, or if your child described something that looked like this? Is it just a phase or something worth paying attention to?
Wait, what are you going to show me?
My picture I drew.
Your picture you drew.
That's Daddy, that's Mummy, and that's me.
And what's that?
That's Steve.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Who's Steve?
My friend.
What, your imaginary friend?
My best friend.
You've got two best friends.
Yeah, two. Do you want me to show him his picture?
Who's that?
That's Steve.
Yeah.
That's Margaret.
And who's that?
That's you.
That's me.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever seen the film Drop Dead Fred with Rick Mayall? This whole thing just reminds me of that. You know, I really believe the kids have like this sixth sense, this open mind that we no longer have. So imaginary friends, whether they be ghosts or whatever they happen to be, is great. But if you've never seen Drop Dead Fred, watch it. Imaginary friends, it don't get better than that film. Back in the day, farmers would come forward claiming they woke up to strange circles in their crop fields. With almost no surveillance technology around, no one ever caught the moment they formed. Because of that, many people spent years believing these circles were signs of alien activity. It became one of those mysteries that lived on rumors and guesses. But now we have new footage shared by a modern farmer, and things are no less confusing. With cameras covering almost every angle of our lives, you would think we'd finally get answers. Instead, this video raises even more questions. In the middle of the night, the field looks calm and undisturbed until a perfect circle suddenly forms right at the center. Moments later, the crops around it collapse outward, leaving a neat, cleared patch. The unsettling part is that nothing in the video explains it. There's no wind, there's nothing above the field, nothing moves across the ground, yet the crops react as if something invisible passed right through them. And now we're back where we started, staring at another unsolved mystery. What's creating these circles? Is it something we cannot see, something our cameras cannot catch, or could this be a new kind of manipulation, maybe even AI at work in ways we don't fully understand yet? At this point, all we have are questions. This next video was shared by a father who woke up early in the morning after hearing his kids playing in the living room. At first, everything sounded normal, just the usual shouting and laughing you'd expect from children. But after a while, the mood shifted. The playful noise faded, replaced by something far more disturbing. In the recording, you can hear what sounds like a creature screeching and growling at the same time. The sound is genuinely unsettling. Some people joke that it must be the family dog, but anyone listening closely can tell you that's not a dog. Others say it reminded them of the audio from a video game. The challenge is that we have no real context because the clip cuts off right after the noise begins. Whatever it was, the family seems to be fine since the footage made it online, but the clip leaves an eerie question lingering in the air. Whatever made the sound? It was not normal, and it's the kind of thing that will keep you glancing over your shoulder long after the video ends. For years, new scientific breakthrough has come with a need for test subjects. It started with lab rats, then expanded to animals with biological systems similar to humans. Before medications or procedures reached the public, some trials were even carried out on volunteers, and that is where many conspiracies began. Now there's a new development. Scientists are working on creating synthetic human bodies. These would look and feel like real humans with the same structure and physical responses, but without any life or consciousness. The goal is to use these lab-made bodies as test subjects instead of animals or human volunteers. According to the researchers, these synthetic bodies would not be alive in any sense. They would exist purely as biological tools for experiment. Some see this as a major breakthrough that could reduce harm, while others worry about the ethical boundaries it crosses. After all, once science can build a body that mirrors a real human, the biggest question becomes, what could come next? This is great. This is fantastic. That means no animals are being harmed. Nothing innocent is being hurt or, does that mean we can now let all the animals out of the cages? Can we, the monkeys and the dogs and the mice and everything else, can we let them out of the cages? Can we let them see sunlight? That's what I want to know. I don't care about the fact that you're using humans in any shape or form. Take the pedophiles, the violent murderers, stick them in chairs and put makeup all over their faces and perfume in their eyes or whatever. I don't care. But let's stop doing this to animals. Have you ever heard of the legend of Black Hollow? It's a town in Missouri that, according to the story, should not exist. One day it was there, and the next, it vanished without a trace. No one knows how it disappeared or where it went. All that remains are scattered rumors from people who claim to have stumbled upon fragments of the town hidden in the woods. What makes the legend even stranger are the tales surrounding the residents. According to local lore, the people of Black Hollow worshipped a giant ape-like creature living in the nearby forest. It sounds remarkably similar to what we know about the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. This being was said to protect the town, keeping its people safe from harm. If the stories are true, could this mysterious protector have played a role in the town's sudden disappearance, or is Black Hollow simply another piece of forgotten folklore, a story that grew taller with each retelling? What do you think really happened to the town that supposedly worshipped Bigfoot? A woman had been living in her home for a while when strange things began happening inside the house. At first, she and a housemate tried to ignore the little incidents, but the longer they stayed, the harder it became to pretend that nothing was wrong. In the first clip, she walks in with her dog, leaves it at the lower stairs and heads up. While she's upstairs, the balloons in the corner begin to sway and shift on their own for a few seconds before going still again. Then she hears a strange sound. She looks down the stairs, and that's when she sees something lift her dog's leash into the air and then drop it. The dog doesn't react. The leash simply falls by itself. There's also a door that leads to the basement. For some reason, that door refuses to open. They said that in the past, when they knocked, the handle would jiggle on its own, almost as if something was responding. But this time, the door stayed silent. Later on, the women decided that she wanted to know what was really in that basement because, well, both of them felt that whatever was happening might be coming from down there. She sets her phone down, points it at the door, and knocks. Then she slides the phone along the surface to try and capture anything moving on the other side. And at first, nothing happens. She tries again, but on the third or fourth attempt, something yanks the phone right out of her hand. It disappears onto the door and tumbles down the stairs. You can hear it fall, but there's no visible hand or figure taking it. By this point, both women are terrified. They call the host to come and open the basement door, hoping he has answers, but even he cannot give them anything that explains what's happening. Now, the women are convinced that something is waiting in that basement, and whatever it is, it does not want to stay hidden anymore. What you're looking at is a round, seemingly ordinary stone held up outside a window so we can get a clear view. At first glance, it looks like an irregular rock, nothing remarkable about it, but watch closely. When the person steps back into the darkness of the room, the stone suddenly comes alive with a neon green glow. The entire surface begins to shine, almost mesmerizing anyone who sees it. People say this stone comes from China, as being sold as a rare, natural glowing rock. Many have bought it simply because of the way it lights up. But this is where the conspiracy theories start. Some claim these stones are not natural at all. Instead, they say the rocks are carefully crafted to look ordinary in daylight and grow brightly in the dark. Well, we don't know the full details of how they're made or what materials are used, but still the idea is spread quickly. People are drawn to the beauty of the glowing stones, believing they've stumbled upon a natural wonder. Others insist it's just another cleverly manufactured product from a country known for making almost anything imaginable. The question is, would you buy one of these glowing stones, or do you think it's simply a clever trick of human craftsmanship? Years ago, Admiral Byrd made statements that shocked the world. He claimed that beyond Antarctica and the North Pole lies Greenland, full of vegetation and possibly even inhabited by humans. This was astounding, because we know Antarctica is a frozen wasteland where survival is nearly impossible without extreme preparation. Yet Byrd insisted that something else existed beyond the ice. Recently, a new claim has emerged. A group of explorers said they traveled to Antarctica and found a loophole through the ice wall. According to their story, they passed through and reached the other side, where they discovered Greenland. They even shared a helicopter photograph showing a massive ice wall with what appears to be a fertile terrain beyond it. But is this real? Well, the image looks convincing at first, yet there is no way to confirm what lies beyond the wall. Admiral Byrd is no longer here to clarify his claims, and all we have are old records, stories, and these new allegations from people claiming to have seen the same thing. So what do you think? Is there truly fresh land waiting beyond the ice, or is this just another mysterious tale destined to remain unanswered? At this point, we might as well call Elon Musk the future godfather of AI. Recently, at the Saudi Investment Forum, he made a statement that turned a lot of heads. He said that in the near future, AI and robots could advance to the point where humans working becomes optional. According to him, this shift could make money irrelevant. Money only has value when work is tied to survival, he explained. If earning a living no longer matters, the very concept of money could lose its meaning. Musk predicts this could happen within the next 10 to 20 years. Take a moment to think about that. Count your life forward 10 to 20 years. Imagine waking up in a world where you don't need to work, earn a living, or chase income because AI and robotics are handling everything. How does that future feel to you? Exciting, terrifying, or something in between?
Say, like, in the long term, where will things end up? Long term, I don't know what long term is. Maybe it's 10, 20 years, something like that. For me, that's long term. My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional.
Optional. So.
We'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like playing sports or a video game or something like that. If you want to work, in the same way, like you can go to the store and just buy some vegetables, or you could grow vegetables in your backyard. It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables. That will be what work is like, optional.
Ladies and anyone who works at night or likes to be out after dark, you really need to stay safe and alert. A homeowner recently shared footage from their garden in the middle of the night that captured a frightening scene. Two women suddenly ran into the yard and hid behind the wall, clearly trying to escape something or someone. Their anxious glances over their shoulders made it obvious they were on edge. One of the women eventually slipped out through the fence, while the other stayed low, creeping along the left side of the property to see if the road was clear. A car passed by, and then strange flashes of light appeared on the ground. At first, no one knew what they were or who they belonged to. It soon became clear the flashes came from two men on a motorcycle. They wore helmets and clothing that looked like suits, and their actions raised even more questions. They parked outside the gate and seemed to be searching for the woman. After waiting tense moments, the men finally rode away, and the women cautiously emerged from behind the wall, walking off to safety. It was a terrifying situation, because not everyone has a hiding spot, and we can only guess at what the men intended. Take this as a reminder. Always be aware of your surroundings, especially at night. Safety should never be optional. Have you heard about the Amazon Prime documentary that has everyone talking? It was directed by Dan Farah, and the title alone pulls people in. It's called The Age of Disclosure, and the name already hints at something big. The docuseries claims to reveal an 8-year cover-up of alien existence. What makes it even more intriguing is the list of people involved. Reports say that about 34 U.S. government officials contributed to the project. These include people connected to government offices, the military, and intelligence work. With a lineup like that, well, it's no surprise the internet has been buzzing non-stop. Now the debate begins. Is this documentary a genuine expose, finally revealing information that has been kept away from the public? Or is it just a well-crafted distraction meant to pull attention in a specific direction? I mean, come on. If we are just a tiny speck of sand in a universe that's got more planets than the amount of sand we got on this planet, how stupid do you have to believe to think that we're the only life form anywhere? That's all I gotta say. Have you seen Ariana Grande lately? She looks very different from the pop star we all remember. Ever since her debut as the Good Witch in the Wicked movie, fans have been noticing a striking change in her appearance. Conversations about her look have only intensified. I mean, while this isn't unusual in Hollywood, there's a pattern with many stars when their careers take off again. While they land a major role, their appearance often changes dramatically. Some call it the Hollywood effect, where transformations happen for branding, image, or industry pressure. Others wonder if there's something else at play, something we aren't being told. So what do you think? Is this simply the result of Hollywood's relentless beauty standards, or could there be a deeper reason behind the change? Some people don't believe in the Bible or the stories it contains, and one of the most famous tales is the Great Flood in Noah's Ark, the massive vessel Noah was said to have built. Now, researchers claim they may have found new evidence in Turkey pointing to the Ark's possible location. Using ground-penetrating radar at a site called the Durapinov Formation, the scans reveal a buried structure that seems to match the general shape and measurements described in the biblical account. As always, discoveries like this spark debate. Some argue it supports the idea that the Ark was real, physical structure that once rested on the mountain. Others say natural rock formations can sometimes mimic man-made shapes. But if this really is part of the Ark, it raises a fascinating question. How much of these ancient stories were based on real events? So what do you think? Is this discovery genuine evidence of Noah's Ark or just another geological coincidence interpreted as something extraordinary? Just read the books of Enoch. That's all I gotta say. Just read the books of Enoch. Some believe that aliens are already living among us, despite the government not giving us enough proof and mostly debunking all the claims. A couple recently shared some intriguing footage that has fueled this speculation further.
Aliens. Look! What?
In the video, a strange light appears in the night sky, significantly brighter and larger than any star. What's even more puzzling is how the light seems to glitch, flickering erratically. Moments later, another similar light materializes above it, and the first one vanishes almost as if they're playing a game of hide-and-seek in the sky. The couple who captured this footage is convinced that these lights are extraterrestrial. But what do you think? Could this be a mere weather phenomenon or something more mundane like a drone or a satellite? Or is it possible that they are indeed signs of alien presence, as the couple believes? Share your thoughts.
Is there something behind you? No.
I live in Oakville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Jackson, and this is going all the way around my neighbor's house. It's almost like whatever this was jumped from my backyard over my fucking house and then just disappeared. The size of my footprint.
A TikTok user named Jessica shared some scary footage on TikTok. She had just gotten home from a late-night shift when she noticed some strange prints along her home. These were no ordinary prints. They were long and had 2 claw-like marks and hoof marks, making them look very odd and unsettling. The prints were significantly larger than her feet, leaving her wondering what could have made them. Well, she didn't have to wonder as long as whatever was responsible for the prints showed itself, but only for a few seconds because it escaped from her home. From her account, it didn't look like any creature she'd ever seen, and judging by the prints she saw, she didn't have to even mention it. We can tell. They don't resemble those of bears or wolves. The whole thing freaked and shook her up. She's brave to keep living there, though, and by herself as well, especially while working night shifts. Now, I turn my sights on you guys. What creature do you think could be responsible for this whole saga? Could it be an unknown animal, something supernatural, or perhaps even a prank? Share your thoughts.
Oakville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Jackson, and this is going all the way around my neighbor's house. It's almost like whatever this was jumped from my backyard over my fucking house and then just disappeared. The size of my footprint. Y'all see this? The size of my fucking footprint. There ain't no damn bird that damn big.
And we caught another one. Oh. Might have to start calling it the Folkestone plastic crab. Oh, what's he got there? Only a baby. Still home. See ya. Chucking back. Only just caught him.
It looks like a potato, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It turns out this interesting creation is the baby spongy crab, also known as the spongy crab or sponge crab. This was a juvenile stage of the Dromaeosaurus species, which is commonly found in the Atlantic Ocean. These crabs are notable for their unique behavior of using sea sponges as camouflage and protection. As they grow, they attach sponges, anemones, or other materials to their shells, which helps them blend into their surroundings and evade predators. Baby spongy crabs are particularly small and rely heavily on the protection strategy to survive. Their remarkable ability to adapt and use their environment for defense highlights the fascinating ecological interactions with marine ecosystems. Oh, nature, you've done it again. You've left us speechless. Has any of you seen this in real life?
Only a baby. Still home. See ya.
Strange, wouldn't you agree? It looks like we're looking at two very different landscapes, yet they're just close to each other, separated by some invisible barrier. During my last visit to Africa to investigate a paranormal lead, I had an experience I would never forget. I saw it rain a few meters from me while I stood there absolutely dry. I did some investigating and realized this was a normal thing in some parts of Africa. Further research revealed it's called localized rain. That's easy to understand, well, at least to me. What we're seeing now appears to be a bit more complex than that. Can anyone explain, or do you think it's paranormal and I need to bring in Aaron to hear his side of the story? In Southern California, an unusual sighting in the night sky caused quite a stir.
It's getting big! Oh my god! There's two lights up there. Holy shit! What is that? Oh my god! Look at the design! What does it mean?
Captured on camera, a strange patch of what looked like white smoke appeared with two glowing orbs embedded within it. The phenomenon was witnessed by many residents, causing widespread concern. Some people thought it was an alien visitation, while others proposed more fantastical ideas, such as a portal to another dimension or something scraping against the supposed firmament above us. There were even theories that the sky above us was an ocean, and that was what we are seeing. However, one commenter provided a more grounded explanation, mentioning that this could be linked to Vandenberg Air Force Base. Upon further investigation, it was confirmed that SpaceX had launched a satellite using a rocket from the Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The launch, which many people were unaware of, created a spectacular visual in the sky that could easily be mistaken for something otherworldly. Given the current climate of UFO sightings and extraterrestrial theories, it's understandable that many people were quick to jump to conclusions. The sight certainly looked unnatural and otherworldly, almost like something out of a sci-fi movie. What are your thoughts as well when you saw the clip?
Oh my god!
There's two lights up there. Holy shit!
What is that? Oh my god! Look at the design! What does it mean?
Really big. Anyway, it's pretty cool. What the hell? No.
A truck driver, captivated by the beauty of the full moon one evening, decided to take a video of it for his son while driving. As he was focusing on capturing the perfect shot, something unexpected happened. His truck suddenly bumped into something, causing him to panic and stop the vehicle. Alarmed, he checked the vehicle's camera and saw the figure of a person standing on the road. Given where they were, this was odd, but he still got out to inspect and make sure the person was fine. But here's the thing, no one was there.
Nothing there.
Everyone who heard the incident with him was puzzled, as no one could explain the mysterious figure on the camera as well as the impact felt. If you know anything about the paranormal community, it's that they won't disappoint when it comes to associating this with an otherworldly being. Most believed he had indeed encountered and bumped into something beyond our plane. They just couldn't put their finger on what exactly. What do you guys think?
Anyway, it's pretty cool. What the hell? No. No, 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 no. There's nothing there.
A group of friends shared this footage online after exploring an abandoned house. They encountered what appeared to be an 8-foot-tall alien, commonly referred to as a Grey. This creature had pale skin and large black eyes, a typical description associated with this type of alien. In the footage, the creature follows them out onto the street, and then the video abruptly ends. Despite the compelling footage, I find this footage unconvincing. The alien's appearance and movements seemed too perfect, almost as if they were computer-generated. With the advancements in video editing software, it's increasingly difficult to distinguish between real and fabricated footage. While it's true that strange things happen in the world, this particular video lacks the authenticity and subtle imperfections typically found in genuine sightings. The smoothness of the creature's movements and the seamless way it interacts with its environment raises suspicions of digital manipulation. What do you think?
So if anyone's ever wanted to know what is down one of these, let's take a look. Get a little bit closer? Holy crap, man. It's honestly quite terrifying. There's a Why is there a ladder?
Speaking of strange and unexplained sights, have you ever come across something like this? It looks like a chimney or something similar to that, but here's the thing. It's ground level. I'm not sure I can even call it that. It looks like some underground tunnel or something similar to that. The big question now is, where does it lead to and how long has it been there? In search of answers, I went through every comment on the original post, and guess what? I found nothing. Can any of you help out? Perhaps you've seen this or know they exist. Please don't be shy. Do educate us in the comments section.
It's honestly quite terrifying. There's a Why is there a ladder?
I bet you thought that was a mouse, right? I mean, that would have been my first guess, but for its unusual movements and, well, its very unusual face. Typically, creatures its size have 2 eyes, but this guy seems to have one huge one. What's more, its hands or paws, wait, can we call it that? Well, never mind. Back to what I was saying, its paws are cat-like, if I'm right. These features combined give you a very strange creature. Think of it as a cat-human-rat hybrid. That's the best I can come up with. What do you guys think? Is this thing really real, or is someone out there just messing with us? While taking a walk along the road during sundown, someone came across a glowing orb floating just a little above the ground. It hovered there for a while before slowly starting to fly away. Glowing orbs like this have been spotted all over the world, yet their true nature remains a mystery. Some people believe these orbs are related to alien activity, suggesting they might be probes or even manifestations of extraterrestrial presence. Others think they're natural light phenomena, such as ball lighting or swamp gas, which can produce similar visual effects under certain conditions. Skeptics, on the other hand, argue that many of these sightings are hoaxes created through clever use of technology or optical illusions. You can see the clip, and if you've been on this channel since day 0, you have seen us feature a lot of clips involving them as well. What do you personally think of them? Some workers were out on the field late one night when they noticed something unusual floating by in the night sky. It was a glowing figure, faint yet unmistakable. According to the workers, this figure was the spirit of one of their colleagues who tragically passed away in a work accident. When paranormal experts reviewed the footage, they determined that the figure had an ectoplasmic quality to it, a substance often associated with spirit manifestations. You've seen the clip. What's your analysis as well? A group of hikers decided to walk deep within the woods, pushing further than they'd ever gone before. After a long trek, they stopped to catch their breath. As they took in the scenery, one of them noticed that something didn't look right. Among the dense thicket of bushes, a strange, hazy area stood out. It was a spot where everything seemed to blur. It was almost like something or someone was standing there completely cloaked but still affecting the view around it. They squinted, trying to make sense of the strange sight, but the distortion seemed oddly deliberate, almost intentional. Some say it could have been a cloaked creature, something beyond our understanding. Others suggest it might have been a person using an advanced cloaking system, possibly military-grade or experimental tech. With today's rapid advancements in stealth technology, the idea isn't as far-fetched as it once would have seemed. So what exactly were these hikers seeing? Quick question. If an alligator was hot near your heels and there was a fence in front of you, would you climb it to escape? After all, alligators can't climb, right? Well, that's what I used to think until I saw this clip. Yup, that's an alligator captured on camera climbing over a metal barrier. Although it took some time and effort, the alligator eventually made its way over the fence and plopped onto the ground on the other side, continuing its journey toward the nearby water. Before you come into the comments section and scream paid actor, please note that this actor was not paid for this gig. Alligators can be dangerous creatures even though they might look adorable from a distance. This remarkable display of agility reminds us that alligators are not to be underestimated. They can overcome obstacles we might not expect them to. Next time you see one, keep your distance. Who knows what more tricks they've got under their sleeves. There are many unusual jobs in the world, and you might be surprised at how dangerous and deadly some of them can be. Yet, people still risk their lives daily to perform these tasks. One such job is jellyfish harvesting. This occupation is primarily seen in Asia, where jellyfish are considered a delicacy. The process of harvesting jellyfish, however, is incredibly risky. Take a look at this man standing precariously on a small wooden ladder placed across a boat's edge. With a rake in hand, he scoops jellyfish from the ocean and places them into the boat, which is often filled to the brim with these stinging creatures. Should the man fall into the boat or the ocean, he risks severe jellyfish stings, which can be extremely painful and potentially life-threatening. Despite the dangers, these harvesters continue their work. While this may be dangerous, I have a hard time deciding if it's more dangerous than being a volcanologist. And yes, that's a real thing too. It has to do with scientists who venture near erupting volcanoes to conduct research and carry out various tests. The inherent dangers of being close to an active volcano range from lava flows to toxic gases are significant. Imagine missing your step and coming into contact with extremely hot lava that's actually capable of melting your flesh on contact. Scary, huh? Nevertheless, volcanologists brave these risks to study and understand volcanic activity. Looking at these two jobs, which would you prefer? You know the movie Alien vs. Predator, right? And how the predators look, those terrifying armored creatures with their elongated heads and razor-sharp mandibles. Well, take a look at this insect a man found in his garden and tell me it doesn't look just like them. It's a black insect with an unusually long head. At one point, it even opened its mouth to reveal what seemed like razor-sharp teeth on its lower jaw. It's absolutely bizarre. The person who found it tried searching for what this creature could be, but found no match. Oh, I don't know about you, but this thing looks a lot like some kind of predator or alien creature to me. Some are saying it might be a mutated praying mantis, but no known mantis looks this terrifying. Could it be that this insect is something we've never seen before? Or did someone just make this with AI to mislead us all? Share your thoughts. Here's another mysterious capture from a trail camera. The owner set it up hoping to capture some wildlife, but when he reviewed the footage, he was in for a shock. Instead of animals, an illuminated figure appeared right in front of the camera. This being glowed intensely, its features completely obscured, leaving only a distinct, ghostly silhouette behind. The camera was set to night vision, yet it struggled to capture anything but this blazing outline. What could we be dealing with here? An interdimensional being, or perhaps a bioluminescent alien? Share your thoughts. Do you know what an obsidian blade is? No? Well, today is your lucky day. Take a look. This blade is known as an obsidian blade. It's the sharpest blade in the world, crafted from volcanic glass or lava. Believe it or not, their incredible sharpness far surpasses that of traditional steel scalpels. The edge of an obsidian blade can be just a few molecules thick, allowing it to cut with astonishing precision. Given these features, they're highly valued not only by archaeologists and historians for their historical significance, but also by modern surgeons for certain delicate surgical procedures. Imagine wielding a blade so sharp it can split cells without crushing them. That's the power of the obsidian blade. Isn't it interesting how this ancient technology, honed by civilization like the Aztecs and Mayans, continues to find relevance in today's world? What is that? It definitely doesn't look like any sort of creatures that we're used to seeing, right? So what are we dealing with here? Well, it's online because the people who posted it didn't know what it was either. This was recorded somewhere in China. The creature was spotted by one of the colleagues of the one filming. They initially thought it was a crocodile, but after considering the thought for a while, they realized that would have been virtually impossible given their location. Crocs don't exactly live there. When they got close enough to take a look, they realized that the creature could easily pass for a croc, eel, or maybe a long shot, a sea snake, depending on where you're standing, of course. The bizarre thing, however, was that the creature was none of these things, necessitating them to upload it in the hopes of getting answers. Now, I've seen it, and I must say, it is confusing. Unfortunately, Julius, our science whiz, has gone on one of those science expeditions for the greater good and is without cell service there. Basically, all I'm trying to say is, I don't know what this is, and I can't confirm if it's real or not. Can you?
Hello. My name is Thomas, and this is Navid. We are inventors in the Lemelson MIT Student Prize Competition.
Students from MIT created these incredible gloves designed to transform sign language into spoken English. Here's how it works. The person signing wears the gloves, which are connected to a computer. Whatever sentence they sign is translated and then spoken out loud by the system. It's one of those inventions that actually makes so much sense and could have a huge impact. Just think about it. This could break down communication barriers for millions of people who use sign language as their primary means of communication. In situations where a translator isn't available, these gloves could be a game changer. Imagine the possibilities in classrooms, public service hospitals, or even casual conversations. These gloves could provide a seamless bridge between sign language users that don't understand it. It's not just a technological advancement, it's a step toward a more accessible and connected world. Wouldn't you agree? More of these, please.
Inventors in the Lemelson MIT Student Prize Competition.
What would you do if your friend disappeared right in front of you during a bike ride? Confused? Well, this is what I mean.
Hey, we'll stop right up here.
All right, sounds good. Whoa! Jeremy? Jeremy! Jeremy! Jeremy!
These two guys were out on a bike ride on what looked like a mountain. The young behind, who also doubles as the one filming, starts looking around and enjoying the scene. After a second or two, he looks in front of his friend, who we will discover is called Jeremy, is gone. I mean, he just disappeared, leaving his bike, which evidently came to a standstill. In the clip, we see the second rider called out to his friend, and that's just about till the clip ends. Was this a glitch in the Matrix? Many seem to think so. They believe Jeremy may have glitched into another reality or timeline, but is this really the case? Well, some disagree. They think that this has definitely got to be CGI. They believe the clip was edited to deceive the masses. You've seen the clip, you saw the moment he disappeared just like we did. Do you think this is really a glitch, or was the clip edited to look like it was? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Whoa! Jeremy? Jeremy! Jeremy!
A couple in China recently went apartment hunting and found a surprisingly affordable option in a multi-story building. As they toured the available room, they were shocked to discover a huge gap between the bed and the windows, which extended down to the ground floor. It turned out that all the apartments in the building had the same gaping holes. This hazardous design poses a significant risk. If someone were to walk in their sleep or miss a step in the middle of the night, the consequences could be fatal. Despite the affordability of the apartment, the couple were understandably concerned about the safety implications. Would you consider living in such a place given the affordability, or is the safety risk too great? Encountering strange objects in the night sky can be both thrilling and perplexing. One such incident occurred when someone was driving near a forest one night and spotted the edge of a round-looking craft hovering above the trees. The full craft was not in view though, just a little bit, to give it that mysterious and otherworldly feel, if you know what I mean. What made this sighting even more intriguing were the lights on the craft, which changed colors intermittently. When the footage of this encounter was shared online, it sparked a flurry of debate. Some viewers speculated that the object could simply be a drone, while others leaned towards a more extraterrestrial explanation, suggesting it might be an unidentified flying object. Then there were some who thought it was fake. The last thing they expected from an alien ship was to have an RGB lighting system. But then again, we can't really dismiss anything till we have enough proof. Can we? Anyway, what's your take on this? Do you think it's just a drone, or could it possibly be something more mysterious like a UFO? You tell me. Looks magical, doesn't it? My first thought when I saw this was, this must be nice. I felt like whoever recorded this must be living in some kind of fairy tale dream from when I was a child. That was at least the case until I looked in the comments section. There were some individuals from war-torn areas who could swear on their lives that this was definitely white phosphorus. When I came across the term, I didn't know what it was until I Googled it. Apparently, white phosphorus is a highly reactive toxic substance that appears as a waxy white solid and can spontaneously ignite in the air, causing severe burns and health risks upon exposure. It's used in military applications for creating smokescreens and incendiary devices, and in what the chemical industry is producing phosphoric acid and phosphates. Due to its toxicity and environmental persistence, it must be handled with extreme care, stored underwater or in an inert atmosphere, and regulated strictly to prevent harm to humans and ecosystems. So basically, it's supposed to be associated with bombs and explosives. I refuse to believe that's what's going on here, but then again, the world can be a cruel place. Julius thinks the magical part of this clip is animated, while other team members are a bit saddened by this discovery. Any experts on the subject here? Is this really white phosphorus? If it is, are those who are recording the clip going to be alright? Please let us know. We've talked about Mars missions and the pioneers of space exploration on this channel, but did you know there's a wild coincidence involving Elon Musk in a 1953 book by Wernher von Braun? Hold on to your seats.
When can we expect the first humans to set foot on Mars?
Best case is about 5 years, worst case 10 years.
So in 1953, von Braun wrote a book called Project Mars. In this book, he envisions a mission to the Red Planet led by a man named Elon who establishes a Martian government. Sounds eerily familiar, right? Fast forward to today, and Elon Musk has a plan to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050 and start a colony. Do you think the writers of the past could see the future? Well, Julius isn't convinced about the significance of this coincidence, but Aaron believes it and is getting ready to do a big documentary. What do you think? Are we looking at a mere coincidence, or is there something more to this cosmic alignment?
When can we expect the first humans to set foot on Mars?
Best case is about 5 years, worst case 10 years.
Still on the subject of aliens, there's been a lot of footage of suspected UFOs circulating online. Some have been proven to be genuine, while others are more likely to be convincing fabrications. Recently, someone shared a video that has caught significant attention. Although the exact location is unknown, the footage shows the ocean with a nearby island. Out of this island emerges a fleet of disc-shaped crafts, a scene that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie. The crafts ascend into the sky and fly off at a mesmerizing and mysterious spectacle. However, the lack of context around the footage has left many viewers skeptical. While some are captivated and inclined to believe this could be real evidence of extraterrestrial activity, a significant portion of the audience is less convinced. The video's quality and the seemingly perfect execution of the craft's movements have led many to suspect it might be a cleverly edited piece of work. That said, it's important to recognize that skepticism towards this particular footage doesn't necessarily debunk the possibility of actual UFOs. Unfortunately, in a digital age where anyone can create realistic visual effects, it can be challenging to differentiate between genuine sightings and those crafted for attention. What do you think? Could this footage be a glimpse of extraterrestrial activity, or is it another example of impressive video editing? Kids have always been described as having an active imagination, and given the kinds of things they say sometimes, I don't dispute it. But what if sometimes the things they say have nothing to do with imagination? What if they can see things we can't?
¿Quién estás dando? ¿Eh? ¿Qué hay ahí? ¿Quién está? No sé quién está, amor. No estoy viendo a nadie, hija.
A mother found herself in the same situation when her toddler started to point at a wall. It seems she was saying that there was something or someone there, but the mother could not see anything, and neither can we in the video. This goes on for a while, and the child looks upset by whatever is there. At the end of the video, the child holds her chest and lets out this small cry, almost as if this invisible thing has done something to her.
Chao, decile. ¿Se fue? Ok. ¿Qué? Ay, Dios mío. Me voy a descomponer. ¿Qué pasó, amor?
The mother, after seeing this, was concerned, leading to the upload. A commenter shared that children who were not baptized see things, as her cousin saw her dead grandmother. But we do not know if this child was baptized or if the child is even Catholic, because not all religions baptize children. What do you think of the whole thing, though? Late-night drives can be incredibly relaxing, but you always have to be cautious. It's not just wild animals or cryptids you need to worry about, but people as well. Take a look at this footage. A man was taking a shortcut home through a secluded path when a group of men suddenly appeared from the bushes holding sticks and canes. They charged at him as he sat in his car. Unfortunately, he couldn't drive away fast enough, and the video cuts off right as the men reach his vehicle. It's unsettling to think about what might have happened, but just know humans can be as scary and as dangerous as any ghost or a dogman.
Bordel. Mais ça bouge? Oh. Attends.
A couple in France was out for a walk one night when they spotted something strange in the sky. It looked like the shape of a capsule, glowing a deep, intense red. This object was moving smoothly, floating across the sky in an almost controlled way. At one point, it dipped behind some trees, disappearing from sight, only to reappear moments later as if it had been observing from the shadows. The glow was almost luminescent, and with no visible wings or other identifiable features, it raises a question. Could this be something not of this world? An advanced drone, perhaps?
Bordel. Mais ça bouge? Oh. Attends.
A girl named Valeria shared an eerie video online.
There's someone outside my room. Wait.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
She was alone at home, and while she was in a room with the door slightly ajar, she heard a female voice calling out to her saying, "Hey." What made it even more unsettling was that the voice sounded exactly like hers. Panicked, she quickly shut the door and the video ended abruptly. As soon as people saw the footage, many were convinced that Valeria was being haunted by a creature known as a mimic. These creatures, as the name suggests, are believed to lure their victims by calling out to them using their voices, creating a terrifyingly familiar sound to entice them. However, not everyone is convinced. Skeptics argue that the voice could have been a trick of acoustics or perhaps even a neighbor's voice carried through the walls. Others suggest that the footage might be staged, possibly with Valeria using a recording of her voice to create the eerie effect. What do you think?
Hey. Hey.
Next, we have a haunting and chilling story that has surfaced from a hospital in the Philippines. A man, completely alone in his hospital room, filmed his surroundings to show that no one else was there. But when he aimed the camera under his bed, he saw a pair of legs on the other side. Terrified, he immediately stood up to check but found no one there. This eerie footage was submitted to a radio station, sparking widespread speculation. Many believed the legs belonged to a ghost, the spirit of someone who couldn't pay their medical bills. The theory is that even after death, the ghost remains trapped in the hospital because of their unpaid debt. What do you think? Could this be a real haunting, or is there a logical explanation behind the mysterious legs? Before the invention of speedboats, canoes, or modern ships, people had simpler yet equally impressive ways of navigating rivers. Take this video. An elderly man was spotted casually floating down a river, steering his course with a stick in hand, and his vessel was just a single log. Amazingly, he stood perfectly balanced, riding that log with the confidence of a sailor on a yacht, moving along like it was second nature. It's a skill that's both impressive and humbling, showing just how much finesse and balance can make even a log a worthy mode of transport. A homeowner started experiencing strange disturbances after moving into their new home, which was a bit isolated and gave off an eerie vibe. Now, if it were me, I'd probably move out right away, but these folks stay put, thinking the odd feeling was just them adjusting to the new place. They ignored the signs until one night. They were woken up by noises coming from one of the windows, which had a wooden door covering it. When they opened the window to check, a slender arm reached in, trying to grab the man. Luckily, there were metal bars on the window that prevented anything from getting to him. The creature quickly ran off, but the family was so shaken that they moved out within a few weeks. Some say it was all just a prank, while others believe it might have been a skinwalker. What are your thoughts? A homeowner shared this intriguing footage online. Their motion sensor security camera went off one morning around 9 a.m., and when they went out to check what it was, this is what they found. There was a luminous entity on the small pool in their backyard. According to the homeowner, it wasn't a reflection of the sun, but some sort of glowing creature moving on the water's surface. One commenter suggested that this could be a portal, as water is often considered a good conduit for various beings to transport. And while that definitely sounds very interesting, there were some who were skeptical. Take this individual, for instance. She really believed it was the reflection of the sun, and she had salient points to back up her claim. But if there's anything I've learned in my few years of doing this, is that things aren't always what they seem to be or not to be. What do you guys think, though? Kindly share your thoughts. Next, we got another clip that fits the category of the strange and bizarre. Take a look. For context, this was captured by a young man on his family's property. It was supposed to be a night like any other when strange things started to happen. There was just this uneasiness in the atmosphere that he was not alone. Being the curious person that he is, he stepped out to take a look. Perhaps just to confirm it was all in his mind. When he stepped out, though, he realized he was out of his mind. He'd potentially put himself in harm's way because there was actually something out there. He frantically moves around trying to make sure he's safe, and the video ends shortly after. The question on everyone's mind is, what was that, and is the young lad safe? It turns out he's actually, because the clip couldn't have been uploaded otherwise. Everyone is convinced that he encountered an alien, and I can understand why they think that. The clip is so dark that it could be anything. This happened somewhere in America, which led one member of one of these paranormal platforms to ask the all-important question: why are these things typically common in America? I thought about it for a second, and this crazy idea came to me. If there are aliens out there, perhaps they've done their research and watched a lot of Earth movies. If they have, then they have seen that America always saves the world in these movies. If I were an alien doing research, I would certainly like to check out my biggest potential threat. What do you guys think? And just like that, we're back to strange creatures once more. This creature allegedly washed up on shore and had residents confused. Some said it was a sea serpent, while others believe it was a baby leviathan. For those unfamiliar with it, Leviathan is a mythological sea monster mentioned in various ancient texts, most notably in the Bible, where it is described as a powerful and fearsome creature of the deep ocean. In the Hebrew Bible, particularly in the books of Job, Psalms, and Isaiah, the Leviathan is depicted as a giant sea serpent or dragon that embodies chaos and untamed nature. Over time, the concept of Leviathan has been adapted and expanded in literature and folklore, often symbolizing a formidable and destructive force. In some interpretations, the Leviathan is seen as an adversary to be conquered, while in others it represents the vast, mysterious, and sometimes threatening aspects of the natural world. So capturing or coming across a dead baby Leviathan could have had great repercussions. I was getting ready to write a huge expose when Julius asked me to take a look at the guy in black. I was disappointed. It looks like the whole thing is an AI creation. But what do you guys think, though? You see why now, don't you? This looks like our favorite big guy. But the question on everyone's mind is it really him? If you look at the image long enough, though, you'll realize that there's no head present. Now, this bit had us scratching our heads because it's not something we typically see in Trailcam captures. We're not sure if it's a headless being or if the creature is simply looking down. We've considered the possibilities of it being a bear, but I don't think I know of any bear species with arms like that. Aaron has suggested it might be an image captured from a clip. Julius doesn't believe it's real and thinks it's a poorly edited image aimed at deceiving Bigfoot enthusiasts. You see the image, but what do you think? Someone captured a strange-looking phenomenon in the sky, a dark figure shaped like a fish. Yup, that's a giant fish in the sky, but last I checked there's no ocean up there, so what could a fish be doing in the sky? Well, remember what I said about things not always being what they seem. Some members of the community believe this might be the perfect example of that. They suggested that this might be evidence of the firmament. The firmament theory posits that there is a dome over the Earth separating our sky from a large body of water. And according to this theory, space doesn't exist as we know it. This dome, according to them, supposedly explains why a fish-like object could appear in the clouds. While that does sound interesting, some believe this is merely a projection from the Blue Beam Project. If you are new here, it's a conspiracy theory suggesting that certain images can be projected into the sky to create illusions. Skeptics, on the other hand, have their explanations. A sect of them argue that this is simply a shadow or a trick of the light, whereas others think it might be a blimp. Someone shared a video online claiming to have captured footage of Bigfoot. The creature in question appeared to be hairy with red glowing eyes and white fur. However, the face looked too off to fit the typical description of Bigfoot, causing skepticism among viewers. Most people who saw the footage weren't convinced it was genuine. The consensus was that it looked more like a person in a costume than an actual paranormal creature. The odd facial features and the overall appearance led many to believe it was a hoax. What do you think? Could this be a genuine sighting of Bigfoot, or is it just another clever costume designed to fool viewers? As you ponder and try to get me an answer, allow me to show you this next clip that was sent in by a subscriber of the page. This was apparently recorded by a security camera in his home. In the short footage, we see a young lady being, or a creature, with the face of a young girl moving around the area where the camera was set up. When you look closely at the timestamp, you can tell it was recorded at 4 a.m. That's enough to tell you that that's not a guest from a costume party passing by. Many who saw the clip believe a ghost visited him. What do you think? A dog owner came home to find something utterly surprising. His bitch Freeze was standing on two legs and dancing. Yeah, you heard that right. Just look at how it moves its waist like a human. The dog stood there, balancing on its hind legs, swaying and twisting its body in ways that seem almost too coordinated for a canine. It was like watching a tiny, fluffy dancer showing off its best moves. It's not every day you see your pet dog breaking out into a dance routine, but there is something very eerie about this, perhaps a skinwalker, or am I just being ridiculous? But how? Mothra. Is that you? Well, there are two, so Mothras? For those unfamiliar with the name, it refers to a moth butterfly thing from Godzilla. And while that's just fiction, this does not appear to be. It was posted by a user online. Just in case you're wondering, yes, they are moths, and just like butterflies, moths can come in all colors and sizes. Here we see two beautiful moths perched on a tree going about their business, if you know what I mean. Just look at their vibrant colors and intricate designs. These are what we call Cecropia moths. They are one of the largest moth species in North America and are known for their striking appearance. Their wings display a mix of red, white, brown, and black, forming an almost mesmerizing pattern. Cecropia moths are not only beautiful, but also fascinating in their life cycle, from their large green caterpillars to these magnificent adult forms. Amazing, isn't it? Have you ever encountered these captivating creatures in the wild? Share your experience. Imagine coming home from work to meet this on your stairs instead of your dog trying to get you to pat him or her and wagging the tail to let you know you have been missed. The one who uploaded this strange clip stated that when he arrived home, he was greeted with this strange sight on his stairs. From his perspective, the dog looked more like a person sitting on the stairs. It was unsettling and almost uncanny, so he moved closer. When the dog allegedly noticed its presence, it transformed back into the normal dog. This bizarre visual illusion left everyone online taken aback. Many people were quick to speculate that it might be a skinwalker, a mythical creature believed to have the ability to shapeshift. So what do you think? Is this just a trick of perspective, or could there be something more supernatural at play? Share your thoughts. Late one night, a security guard was in a monitor room, idly scanning through the feeds of various cameras around the facility grounds. It was supposed to be a quiet shift, but then something caught his eye. On one of the cameras, outside in the dead of night, he noticed an eerie sight, something he'd never seen before. There, just outside the facility's perimeter, a smoky humanoid figure seemed to be moving erratically, almost as if it were running in a circle. The shape was shrouded in a thick, ghostly mist, its form shifting and blurring, but clearly taking on the silhouette of a person. The figure's movement was unnerving. It had an unnatural fluidity, almost gliding as it circled the same spot. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the figure darted directly toward a wall and vanished into thin air. Instead of investigating, he grabbed his phone and recorded the strange activity straight from the monitor. No one has been able to tell what that was. The guard still wonders what he saw and is grateful he didn't venture outside that night. After all, who knows what might have been waiting for him in the darkness. This next footage comes from a security guard working through the night shift at a booth in Mexico. His unsettling experience was captured by the security camera facing the booth, and what it shows is pretty eerie. It was late at night, and the camera captured the booth sitting on the roadside, with darkness stretching out on the left. Out of nowhere, a white figure appeared in the darkness, standing still, facing the booth. Moments later, almost like clockwork, the guard came out to check what was there. He stood looking at the exact spot the figure had appeared, and then quickly went back inside the booth. According to the guard, he'd spotted the figure on the monitors and came out to investigate, but when he got outside, there was nothing there. Here's where it gets stranger. If you look closely at the footage, you'll notice that the figure splits in two and floats away just before the guard arrives. It's as if the figure vanished into thin air right in front of him. It seems whatever it was did not want him to see it. The Statue of Liberty has been under scrutiny for a lot of things. Some even theorize that there was a secret facility in there, or that it was a place where people were mass murdered, and so much more.
L'aspetto più difficile della costruzione était le piédestal, bien que le statue soit destinée à être un cadeau. L'ambassadeur des États-Unis nous a exhortés à suivre les démons du président Trump. Nous avons accepté l'échappement. Nous avons reçu des exigences de taille variable pour le piédestal. Après 4 ans de demander des modifications de la taille du piédestal ont cessé. Les gens se demandent pourquoi le piédestal est tellement plus grand que le rang. Tout ce que je le dis, c'est demander aux Américains.
These theories are nothing new and have been there for a long time. The man who allegedly built the statue said that the US authorities requested that the pedestal on which the statue stood be made very large, but for what reasons he didn't know. After the statue was built, it was said that people who lived by it, which was mostly immigrants, complained of a foul smell coming from the area where the statue was situated. A woman who was interviewed said that it smelled like rotten flesh in a slaughterhouse. She said at night she would see people being lined up and led to the statue by officials.
Ellie Island era orribile. L'intero posto puzzava di carne, come un mattatoio. C'erano anche uccelli morti ovunque e mia sorella ne trovò persino uno nel gabinetto. Se già la costa è così, diceva mio padre, immaginate quanto puzzeranno le città. Ricordo di aver sentito altre famiglie dire quasi scherzosamente che volessero tornare a Milano per via dell'odore. La mia famiglia aveva spruzzato profumo e acceso candele per tenere lontano il fetore, ma funzionava solo per un'ora o giù di lì, finché l'aria diventava di nuovo insopportabile. Le serate erano così calde, rimasi per lo più sveglia, anche se il resto della mia famiglia dormiva profondamente. Ricordo che guardavo fuori dalla finestra ogni notte e vedevo figli di persone che venivano condotte alla Statua della Libertà dai funzionari. Se solo fossero saliti sul piedistallo, i funzionari se ne sarebbero andati e non sarebbe successo nient'altro. La mattina seguente però ci sarebbe stato un odore peggiore, come un mattatoio.
Naturally, people started believing things, including the fact that there was some sort of creature in there that was being fed humans. This led to the infamous emergence of the 1889 Liberty Lurker interviews, but later it was all written off as a fake. Now scratch everything I've just said and take a look at this comment. Yes, this scenario I just described is supposed to be a hypothetical and not so real story, or is it? What are your thoughts on it? A subscriber sent in this rather intriguing footage. In the video, a machine is seen pulling something out of what appears to be a sewer or a tank filled with murky substances. The details are scant, but according to the sender, they pulled out a monster, specifically a demon. Upon closer inspection, it seems more likely that the figure being pulled out is a person covered in a thick, unidentifiable substance. The footage doesn't provide enough clarity to definitely say whether it's a monster or a person, but the latter seems more plausible given the context. What do you think, though? A lot of strange encounters have led us to question whether we're truly alone on this planet. Sure, some evidence seems a bit far-fetched, but some pieces of footage are just too compelling to ignore. Take this footage for instance. It was captured by a trail camera in the woods, and it shows a humanoid figure crouched down behind a tree. It almost appears as if it's hiding, staying low to the ground. Then out of nowhere, this person, if we can even call it that, launches itself from the ground straight up onto the high tree branch with incredible ease. Now, keep in mind that the distance between the ground and the branch is considerable, much more than a human could easily manage, yet this figure made it look effortless. This doesn't seem like a person. The movement, the strength, the precision, it's almost impossible for a human to pull that off without equipment or some sort of assistance. So what are we really seeing here? A woman recently shared a video on social media, excitedly unwrapping a stack of presents. As she opened a compact round mirror and angled it toward the camera, a chilling sight appeared. In the reflection, viewers could see the pale face of a young man, almost as if someone was standing just behind the camera, watching her. Later, when she rewatched the footage, she was horrified. She knew she had been completely alone while filming and even posted a follow-up video showing her setup. The camera was facing her empty backyard. So what or who was that eerie face in the mirror? Take a look at this fascinating water phenomenon, and yes, those are ice spheres floating on the water.
Oh, icy right here?
At first glance, these ice balls might seem like they were crafted and placed there intentionally, but they are in fact naturally formed. These ice spheres are created by the movement of water currents. As the water moves, it shapes the ice into smooth round balls. This mesmerizing natural process showcases the incredible and often unexpected ways in which nature operates. Isn't it amazing how nature can create such perfectly shaped ice spheres without any human intervention? Have you seen these or touched them before? Care to share your experience?
Icy right here?
Stepping away from nature, let's move on to something man-made, a lifelike robot that doubles as a waitress at a hotspot restaurant in China. If not for her robotic movements, it would be hard to tell if this is a human or a machine. At this point, I don't know if I should feel excited about this technological marvel or freaked out by how realistic it is. Just watch her. She serves food gracefully for a machine and even picks up a paper and pen for someone. It's both fascinating and a little eerie to see how far robotics have come. What are your thoughts on this invention? Is it a step forward in technological innovation, or does it bring up concerns about the future of human interaction and employment? Let us know what you think. Still on aliens, someone uploaded this clip on one of our paranormal platforms, claiming it might be an alien creature. Looking at it, it looks the part, but is it legit though? I'll let you decide that. So I was there when Aaron told me he had got a clip that was going to blow my mind. It was a river on fire. Now take a look. Now that does look like a river on fire, right? Something like a scene from hell. Well, more like this shows that hell is possible. But what explanation is there for this? I did some research and it turns out not everything you see on the internet that you don't understand is AI. It turns out this is possible due to a phenomenon where methane gas produced by the decomposition of organic material in riverbeds or wetlands escapes and ignites, causing flames to appear on the water's surface. This can happen naturally or due to human activities like drilling, which can release trapped methane. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas, and its release contributes to climate change. When it escapes from water bodies, it can create visually striking, without often hazardous, river fire events. These incidents highlight the complex interactions between natural ecosystems and the impact of human activities on environmental processes. This was allegedly recorded in Kazakhstan. The Tesla company has been doing well in coming up with a lot of innovative tech like robots and even their self-driving cars. Recently, however, a Tesla car owner was in a life-threatening situation. According to him, his driving car could not detect a train ahead, which almost led to a collision. This is where the skeptics against the whole self-driving car jumped out with the "I told you so" card. Perhaps this could be a sign that giving AI control is not the best, but it looks like we're still going on with plans. This will definitely be treated as an obstacle in the pursuit of greatness. At the time of filming the video, Tesla is yet to make an official statement concerning the situation. But what do you think? Is the push to an AI and tech-controlled future the right course, or should we slow down or stop it altogether? Share your thoughts. I'm not exactly sure what to make of this, but this certainly doesn't look right. You guys see a chicken with crab legs too, right? Could it be some sort of hybrid with spliced DNA or surgically altered limbs? At first glance, it's hard to be certain, but after seeing this clip on many paranormal pages and platforms, you start to notice a few things. For instance, there's a noticeable blur beneath the chicken that's definitely not normal. Aside from that, there's also some sort of lag or delay in its movements, which makes the clip look like it's been digitally manipulated or edited in a way. I was not the only one to notice this, as the subsequent pages where it was posted had individuals calling these inconsistencies out. Take these, for instance. While everyone was calling out the obvious, another user confirmed everyone's suspicions. This was indeed footage of a regular chicken that had been edited to create this hybrid, or as this user loved to call it, hybrid. Stepping away from the fact that this is obviously fake, would you love to see a creature that's somewhat the hybrid of a chicken and a crab like what's on your screen? Let us know in the comments section. We've spoken about portals and what have you on this channel and even shown you a few clips, but would you want to see one in action? That looks like an alien ship going through a portal, which then shuts as soon as the ship goes through. I would have loved a bit more context and information with this clip, like where it was taken and when, but I guess if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Julius isn't convinced about this, and Aaron hopes to get to the bottom of this. You've seen the clip. What do you think we're dealing with here? If you watched our last episode, you would have remembered we showed you clips of individuals wearing silicone faces that look very lifelike. Well, this next clip may just blow your mind. Take a look. Did you see that? No? Well, look at his ears. See it now? It looks like there's a silicone mask over the face of whoever is conducting the interview. I mean, I know as we get older, we develop wrinkles et al., but this does not look like that. Instead, it looks like we're looking at a live use of one of those silicone masks we saw in our last episode. Am I overthinking things, or do you guys see it too? Let me know in the comments section. These men came across a hole in the tunnel, and one of them decided to throw something into the hole. What happened next was terrifying. Did you catch that? A large, dark creature began creeping out of the hole. In a panic, the men quickly used a large stone to cover the hole before the creature could fully crawl out. As you can see from the footage, it took significant effort for both men to keep the creature at bay. The strength and persistence they displayed indicated that whatever was down there was powerful and determined to get out. But what could that be? Some speculate that it might be an unknown subterranean creature, possibly a cryptid, or even something out of a horror movie. Others believe it could be a displaced animal, although its size and the men's struggles suggest otherwise. The mystery remains unsolved, but the footage leaves an unsettling impression of what might be lurking beneath the surface. Unless, of course, it's fake, but don't mind me, it's just the skepticism talking. What are your thoughts on this eerie encounter? Bizarre looking, right? It's got an otherworldly glow and feel to it, so much so that it's almost unreal and unbelievable. What you were seeing was allegedly recorded by someone on one of the paranormal platforms and sent to the admin of the page anonymously. He claims this is real and he'd seen and recorded it with his own eyes, but didn't want to come forward for fear of being targeted by the government and what have you. Once the admin of the page made this known to us, various comments and theories started to fly around. Some thought the possibility of it being real was slim, but not impossible. Others also thought it had to have been digitally created. As the debate raged on, someone pointed out that the object or supposed alien ship looked eerily similar to Atari's Asteroids game. Another mentioned Space Invaders. If you're young and don't really know what those names represent, they were popular games from the early days that you should definitely try. Now, could this have indeed been digitally created using those games as inspiration and building blocks, or were the creators of those games trying to communicate something that they'd seen to us in encrypted form by developing those games? Or is it really nothing more than a poor attempt to mislead us? Hard to say, but share your thoughts. If you're a member of the paranormal or conspiracy community, you're probably familiar with the theory that the moon landing might have been staged. Rumor has it that on the outskirts of Las Vegas, there's a vast piece of land that some claim was the site where the 1969 moon landing footage was recorded. The terrain is said to have an eerie resemblance to the surface of the moon that was shown to the world during the famous broadcast. The theory suggests that the entire moon landing was a hoax directed by none other than Stanley Kubrick, the acclaimed filmmaker. Some believe Kubrick was chosen for his expertise in creating realistic scenes, as seen in his work on 2001: A Space Odyssey. Speculators believe that with the intense space race going on between the US and the Soviet Union at the time, faking the landing would have been a strategic move to ensure America's victory. This conspiracy has been circulating for decades, raising questions about the footage, the shadows, and the way the flag moved. But the truth remains up for debate. What do you make of this? Diamonds are famously known as one of the hardest minerals on Earth, cherished for their durability and sparkle. But did you know diamonds might do more than just sparkle? Scientists recently suggested that if we launched diamond dust into the atmosphere annually, we could potentially lower Earth's temperature by up to 3 degrees. The tiny diamond particles would reflect sunlight in a space, acting as a sunshade to help counteract climate change. The real question, though, is whether we'd be prepared to make the atmosphere glitter like that. What do you think? Could diamonds really be our unexpected ally in cooling the planet? On December the 4th, 2024, witnesses captured footage of unusual lights streaking across the sky. The lights appeared to be emanating from objects descending toward Earth, sparking widespread curiosity and debate. Some observers suggest that the phenomenon might be space debris re-entering Earth's atmosphere and burning up as it falls. This explanation aligns with the fiery trails and bright flashes often associated with atmospheric re-entry. Others, however, speculate that the lights could be UFOs. What are your thoughts? Could this be a routine cosmic event, or are we witnessing something extraordinary?
นี่ยังใหญ่เลยน่าจะติดที่อะไรแล้วก็ตายจมน้ำตายอันนี้น่าจะแค่ครึ่งท่อนหลังนะตัวอะไรครับเนี่ยอนาคอนดาใช่ไหม
That's exactly what you think it is, a giant snake. I knew some snakes could get really large, but that's on a whole different level. It appears to have recently eaten just before the flag, given its protruded belly. At least, that was my working theory until Julius showed up from nowhere and stated that the python had drowned. I argued it was moving, but he stated it only appeared to be moving because of the water not being still. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but does any of you know which exact species this python is? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
นี่ยังใหญ่เลยน่าจะติดที่อะไรแล้วก็ตายจมน้ำตายอันนี้น่าจะแค่ครึ่งท่อนหลังนะตัวอะไรครับเนี่ยอนาคอนดาใช่ไหมตรงปากทางเข้าแยกฮอนด้า
A woman had put her baby to sleep one night and set up a camera with a monitor connected to her phone to keep an eye on the crib. As they slept, something unsettling happened. A smoke-like figure appeared in the room, hovering over the baby's cot. Strangely, the baby didn't get up, and the figure just floated around for a moment before vanishing into thin air. The mother was understandably shocked when she discovered this later. While there's no clear backstory, like a deceased relative or anything, we can't say for certain what this entity could have been. A man discovered a striking insect in his garden one day. It looked like nothing he'd ever seen, and after seeing it myself, I shared the same sentiment. I was about to scream AI when one of our team members gave it a look and said, "The Mantis waspfly. Cool." I looked it up, and surely enough, these things actually exist. The so-called Mantis waspfly is a reference to the mantis fly, an insect with a remarkable mix of mantis, wasp, and fly characteristics. Mantis flies have forelegs similar to those of a praying mantis, which is what they use to ambush and grasp prey, and their bodies often mimic the appearance of wasps or flies as a defense mechanism against predators. Found worldwide, especially in warmer regions, mantis flies are small, usually between 5 to 20 millimeters, and have 2 pairs of transparent wings with intricate venation. Their larvae are sometimes parasitic, targeting spider egg sacs for nourishment. Mantis flies showcase convergent evolution independently. Developing mantis-like forelegs and their defensive mimicry helps them thrive in diverse habitats. And no, mantis flies are not aggressive towards humans. They may look intimidating due to their mantis-like forelegs and wasp-mimicking appearance, but they pose no harm to people. Mantis flies are predatory, only towards smaller insects which they ambush and capture with their specialized forelegs. Their mimicry of stinging insects like wasps is purely a defense strategy to avoid being eaten by predators, not an indication of aggression. So while they look fierce, mantis flies are harmless to humans who would rather avoid contact than confront it. Strange things have been happening across East Idaho. Residents have reported hearing loud, unexplained booms that are so powerful they shake homes. These booms occur multiple times a week and have left many baffled. While some local news outlets have attributed the sounds to skyquakes, many believe there's more to the story. One Idaho resident, Aaron, has been sharing his experience on TikTok.
This has been happening all over East Idaho in several small towns, especially out in the country where it's quieter. But we've been hearing loud booms, like explosions, specifically at night, over the past 2 months.
He's been documenting the mysterious booms even after allegedly being approached by law enforcement and asked to take his videos down.
Shortly after posting my video about the booms, I have a law enforcement friend. He came over to my house and said, "Hey, Aaron, it'd be a good idea to pull the video you posted about the booms and not talk about it anymore." He didn't tell me if he knew what they were or what they were doing it for, but he says as an agency, they've been told to deny, deflect, and diffuse.
Aaron refused, continuing to post updates and theories about what might be causing these earth-shaking sounds. Things got even weirder when a seismologist who had set up devices to investigate the phenomenon and was preparing to release a story about the booms suddenly passed away from a heart attack.
Before they could actually run the story, he had a heart attack, and he's gone. So that got me thinking that there's something going on with these booms that we're not supposed to know about. So if I stop making videos, guys, you'll know why.
This unexpected death only fueled speculation, with many wondering if there was a deliberate effort to suppress information. However, Aaron's most recent video has raised even more concern among his followers. In this clip, Aaron is seen cooking beans and salted pork, but viewers couldn't help but notice that something was off.
I've been talking a lot about the booms lately, and today I'm going to show you how to make natural booms, and that's with beans.
He appeared not quite like his usual self. Some even speculated that he might have been coerced or tampered with in some way. Could the higher-ups have gotten to Aaron? Are these strange booms connected to something being hidden from the public? What do you think is happening in East Idaho?
Just because I know a lot of you are worried about me, so I want to get a video out just to let you know I'm okay and everything's normal. We're even still talking about the booms a little bit. Just cooking the beans.
Moving on, we've got what I like to call one of the closest encounters we have ever shared.
Watch out, you better not die, you better not crash, I'm telling you why, 'cause you told your wife you weren't at work.
This clip starts off with a man singing and telling himself not to crash because he came skiing when he told his wife he was at work. It was a humorous start, and I was expecting something funny to happen until his GoPro, which is what I'm assuming he's using, caught wind of something humanoid walking to his right. From what we briefly see, it's humanoid with a human gait and fur all around. There's no way that area has chimps living it, which leads to one conclusion. That's right, the big guy, Bigfoot. Most individuals like myself always suspect the Yeti would be the one to be found in these areas, but perhaps I and everyone else like me is wrong. What do you think?
Watch out, you better not die, you better not crash, I'm telling you why, 'cause you told your wife you weren't at work.
What you're seeing is the alleged tomb of Gilgamesh. For those unfamiliar with the name, Gilgamesh, the legendary Sumerian king of Uruk, is the central figure of the ancient Mesopotamian epic, the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is one of the earliest known works of literary fiction. According to the epic, Gilgamesh was a demigod with extraordinary strength who embarked on epic quests, including seeking immortality. The existence of Gilgamesh's tomb has long been a subject of fascination and speculation. In 2003, a team of archaeologists announced they might have found the lost tomb of Gilgamesh near the Euphrates River in Iraq, using modern technology like magnetometers to detect the possibility of remains of ancient structures. However, due to the region's instability and subsequent looting, the site has not been thoroughly excavated or confirmed, leaving the mystery of Gilgamesh's final resting place unresolved. That's what makes coming across a clip like this, which is the alleged resting place of the demigod, is a big deal. Is it legit though? Well, I'll leave that to your discretion. Romania has a long history of giant legends, and one of the most mysterious is the Romanian stone giant. This is a massive stone formation with an unusual carved shape. And in this clip, a woman traces what she believes are the feet, the legs, the body, and finally the head of the giant. According to the legend, this giant has been asleep for centuries, and when it finally awakens and its head reconnects with his body, the world is said to shift in a new era or even an entirely different universe. It sounds unbelievable, yet she traces the outline. You can clearly make out shapes that resemble a foot, a leg, a shoulder, and a torso. Giants are not new in human history. They appear in myths, scriptures, and ancient stories across countless cultures, which leads to the question, could this be one of them?
From the big Romanian giant, that is a stone giant, and I'm going to explain to you because you'll see it anyway. So this is his foot, the leg, his hand underneath, and then his head is actually said that it's actually here, and this is his eye. So this is the nose.
With that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. My name's Steve. This has been Classified Captures, coming to you from West Sussex in England this time round. Now, I'll be back in the US very shortly, but whilst I'm gone, do me a favor, would you? Could you just share this video, share the channel. Give us some love, baby, because we love you. Mwah! See you next time.